Hi guys, welcome back to another Daily Tarot card. These are your Daily Tarot cards for Wednesday, November the 9th, 2022. Today we're pulling from the Wild Unknown Tarot cards. So we have the Lover, so either a partnership, but I feel like love for a lot of people. And if you go back to January 24th, they said that week was going to define the rest of the year. Stuck situations were going to move forward, either in prosperity or in love. So for some of us, it was one or the other. For some of us, it's been both. Mine has been more in a financial sense, which I'm grateful for because I felt like it did in the sense of waking that up in me, but it never flourished anything, which is fine. But it's just like waking that up in me again, saying like, there is life after loss. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I did the right thing by healing myself, being there for my kids, and continue to do those things. When that, Spirit had remind me when I was upset because that situation didn't turn out the way that I thought. They were kind enough to be like, hey, you know what? Everything that you've needed has been in your path since he's passed. So I don't have to take this as a defeat. I could just say like, you know what? At least it woke up and I'm open to that realization. We have the high priestess and they're saying to be patient. This is something definitely we wish for. When you see an orb, it usually is something that we wish for. So we talk about our vision boards, things that we want to bring in for the year. It's great to have goals and ambitions and things that we want to accomplish. One thing I was like, I don't think I'll ever go to see this place or that place. Like, you know what I mean? Just because I can't see it doesn't mean it'll never happen. And I feel like someone that I really admire shown that, because I don't even think in her wildest fantasies where she was 2 years ago thought that she would be where she was a couple weeks ago. Where she was in these magical places that we only dare to see. And by the grace of the universe, grace of God, it's just like she was able to go and experience those experiences. And I'm so proud of her for facing her fears and being able to have that come to fruition for her. So my hat goes off to her. But I feel like in this situation, it's like with the lovers, they're talking about building this foundation together, being seen by each other, heard by each other. I feel like with the high priestess, it's like taking your time, letting those, you guys reveal yourselves to each other in a slow pace where you guys know who each other is. So it's not like, years down the road, you're like, who the hell is this? Where did this come from? If I only had taken my time a little bit more, I would have known who this person is. The sun. So, it's bringing this light into our life. You know what I mean? I feel like, technically today, well, not technically, today is the full moon. The new moon forecast and projections for the 23rd is already posted. But I feel like we're talking about the end of November here. Then the beginning of December with this new beginning here. So I feel like this new beginning in love. And this is a rebirth in our life. So if you look at the cycle that we're going in here, especially with the Nine of Cups, I feel like it's from now until, the beginning of January. In the new moon forecast and projections, they said January 31st, first. So I don't know if they mean it as the 1st to the 31st is going to be this new awakening, this new cycle, something to look out for. Or is they highlighting the end of January, beginning of February. So it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds. So starting off with the lovers, union, desire, joy. Two Canadian geese are mates for life, traveling partners within an expansive sky. The love card is a welcome sight in any reading, as it suggests a beautiful and strong relationship on the horizon. So even in partnerships, it's like maybe a new coworker comes in or someone comes in your life and it's just like this, friendship that you've always been longing for. You know what I mean? And it's just like you guys get each other, you guys see each other, hear each other, respect each other, and it's like, it's something that your heart needs at that time, your soul needs at that time. So it's like awakening this friendship. If it is a partnership, maybe it is a business partnership, but it's just like you never thought in your wildest dreams that this would, happen. The Lover's card is welcome sight in any reading. Yes, you'll experience all the thrills and desire, romance, but meanwhile, you'll be building a solid foundation together. The lovers honor and respect each other. And with that, they could go anywhere. If you're already in a relationship, it's time to be grateful and nourish the rare, precious gem. So a lot of us take for granted the people in our life. So we don't see, the fact that this person goes to work and it's a stressful job and they got to sit in traffic and come home. It's like, well, why add to that? That's the way that I saw it with, when Shane was, my surrogacy journey was done. I started doing contracts and matching. So I was going to the other side of things, starting my business in that way. And, I was like, why stress him out? Why say, give him a honey to-do list? Let him come home, eat his dinner, woos out, and, I could take care of whatever else. You know what I mean? Because I had things, but I like being busy. You know what I mean? So my day was full, and I was usually in bed by 9. I was done by 9 because I would be up at 6. But it's just like, at least I got all these things done. He didn't have to do anything. All he did was go to, and it's not just went to work. Like, his was a very highly stressful job. But it's like, how can I make his life easier? And by that is just removing all of that other chaos from his life. You don't have to worry about nothing. Or on the other hand, where your partner sits there and cooks and cleans and makes sure that you have clean clothes and they make your favorite delicious meals and all this stuff, and it's like, you take that for advantage, or you're just the type of person that kind of, like the 4 of Cups, you're not satisfied with life has brought you, and you go out in the world and you're like, oh, I'm gonna, I can, find a younger thing, to start all, have this excitement in my life because there's no responsibilities. But then you realize, like, dang, the thing that I had wasn't so bad. That's just life, It's like what you make of it, But you have to be, when you have that gem, you got to really care for it, You don't take advantage of it. You sit there and appreciate it, It's just, it goes both ways. So the High Priestess, mystery, psychic wisdom. So I feel like either you're leveling up to side of things. I know I'm thinking of one person in particular. I feel like, she got herself a tarot card now, tarot deck. She's like, showed me the cards and I read them for her. And it's like opening yourself up to those, mysteries. Opening your, like, for me, for her, it's like, practicing her cards. What are the meaning of these cards? So educating yourself in that way. This is when they tell you going back to school, it's in that way. Like myself, it was ancient Chinese oracle. I've always been drawn to the Chinese, ancestry and culture and belief systems and everything like that. The way that the family dynamic is, the respect. So ancient Chinese oracle, Garavoic numbers, Viking runes, witches runes, palm reading. Palm reading is something that I've, one thing I always talk about is going, it's a 6-week course and it's 2.5 hours of homework. I wish I had the time. Now it's not the time, but once I do, I would like to become a certified astrologist with Deborah Silverman School. You know what I mean? So I feel like, expanding yourself. You're never done learning, That's the thing. It's like people retire and they quit all these things. And it's like, fill your life with things that you love to do. What are those things that you always wanted to do? Do them now. Travel, see the world, experience things, take up a new hobby that you didn't have time for before. Do these things that keep your life busy. The High Priestess sits in the stillness. From there, she's able to access the realms others pass by without noticing. So being more the observer. Deborah Silverman wrote a book about this. The Missing Element, that's what it's called. But it's like talking about being the observer, taking your emotions out of the situation and just what are the facts of this situation. Learning how to deal with different elements and then signs. And some of it, it's just like, some of them are just assholes and the B word, or and the C word. The book would only be good to hit them with, but, it's just like, it's learning how to sit there and be a better human being. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'm this sign, I react this way. How can I change myself to be a better person? So I'm not so reactive. She uses silence and non-action to harness this power. Sometimes this card appears to remind you to listen more closely to the voices within. Other times it's a sign to look past the obvious, to find what is being kept secret or hidden within a given situation. Acknowledge the shadows. And that's the biggest thing, is acknowledging the shadow. It's like, our shadow sides, our cruelty, our cutthroatness, We're in this eclipse energy until tomorrow, the 8th, when this full moon comes about. And the solar eclipse happens, and it's just like removing things out of our life that doesn't serve us anymore. And I feel like healing is taking place, and I feel like this whole year has been about healing. I feel like Halloween was the biggest testament of what the world needed. To see the kids come out in droves and droves, and the excitement and the laughter and the wonder. I feel like Christmas is going to be like that as well. You're kept away from all these people and isolated. It's like they basically mentally broke a lot of people with that. People need to be around each other. They tried to condition us into, being inside, living indoors, seclusion. You know what I mean? And it's just like people can't function that way. Like, stop trying to bend the will of the universe. This is not what we are here for. So, vitality, enlightenment. And I feel like, in the sense of the reading, I feel like it's like having patience with this relationship and let it flourish. And this will be it feels like a portal with the sun. And it's like this brand new light. Look at all the doves in the card. There's 4 of them. 4 pillars of the home. Peace. And it's like, let it unfold beautifully. Don't force it. Don't try to, they're showing, don't try to fix a problem. Maybe you had a problem. It's like, let's put this new situation in here. It's a Band-Aid. It's like, let yourself heal as you grow and you learn who you are, And that's one thing that it taught me, is who I am, my value. And it took me some lessons to learn, and it broke my heart with some of those lessons. But it's just like, I got to learn and say, heart, I love you so much because you are so loving and so nurturing and you care so much, but you care too much. We got to be the Queen of Swords, a point of up to self-preservation, because the universe has our back. Certain people have our back, but you know what? I shouldn't have to sit there and run to them every time. I had to learn a hard lesson. You know what I mean? And I have to move forward from that. It's like, I learned this lesson, move forward from it. It's just, I can't put myself down for it because that's just who my heart is, But at the same time, it's like, I love you, heart. But you know what? Sometimes you got to let the head, take over. You got to let your brain take over. Imagine for a moment that you're soaking in the warm rays of the sun. It feels nurturing and healing. So being in a relationship with someone that you love and just losing yourself in that love, it's like, it feels nurturing. You feel, whole. It's nice to, one of our favorite thing, me and Shane's favorite thing, is to lay in bed and hold hands and just talk. Just be in each other's company, just listening to his heartbeat, it's just, beautiful things like that, it's just being in each other's company. Even after 10 years, it's like we still had things to say. It feels nurturing and healing. All your aches and pains just fade away. Doesn't it feel like that way when you're in the presence of certain people? It's like, it doesn't matter what, your creaky back or your achy knees. When you get 40, you understand what I'm talking about. Vitality, healing about. While you feel assurance and clarity in all you do, spend some extra time outside today. Be grateful for the radiance of the sun and the life force it gives all creatures. It's like, we take advantage of the sun and the fact that it brings this light in. The fact that every day when it's showing us, okay, a new day is starting. You know what I mean? It's like this external clock, you know what I mean? Which it is, because that's what they would make, these huge sundials, and go by where the sun's position was, what time it was in the day. You know what I mean? But it's just like, what does it do? It, brings everybody awake. The world wakes up. It allows us to grow, just to sit there in the sun. One of my favorite things, like, when it's January thaw, it's like, take the chairs out, and that week there, it's really warm, and, we would sit there in the sun. We would, put on our warm coats, and we would just sit in the sun and just sunbathe, because it's just like, oh, we miss the sun. We miss the warm weather, so it's just to get out there and enjoy it. So the Wheel of Fortune. So this is a major message because we have the owl here. So highlighting, the starting of December. A stuck situation here gets moving. You know what I mean? But I feel like it's just like, I feel like if you wanted to, I feel like there was opportunities, and I feel like that's what the universe was saying to me. There was opportunities for other people to come in here where I could have built something with. But, at the end of the day, it's like, I like someone, you know what I mean? But I understand, like, it's not meant to be. And, I'm fine with that, and now it's just moving forward from that. You know what I mean? I'm not the type of person that, just could turn it off like that and go forward with something else. You know what I mean? So, and I also am in the fact that I never want to do anything that would dishonor Shane. You know what I mean? Because I respect and love the fact what we had, no matter what shape and form it took later on. It's just like what it was based upon and what it grew into. I never want to sit there and be like, make a decision where it's just like, really? Destiny change, of course. Whether day or night, the wheel of fortune is always in motion. Some call it fate, others destiny. It's possible to go for months or years without feeling its presence. But when this card appears, the eye of the wheel is fixated upon you. So, definitely really relatable when we talk about people going through journeys where it's like a healing had to take place and we feel like we weren't moving forward because the healing had to take place. We had to go inward. We had to heal. We had to understand who we are. We had to be reborn, a rebirth. You know what I mean? And I feel like with this portal of the sun, and that's why I really love this deck, it's just like something new's coming in. You know what I mean? Some light is coming in. Sometimes we have to live in the shadows to learn, but we don't have to stay there forever. This too shall pass. Don't be surprised if there's a change of course heading your way, something that you least expected. Whatever happens to you during this time, you may know that it brings you closer to your life's purpose. So, you know what I mean? Especially with the lovers, it's just like a lot of people is like they kind of give up on love when they're just like, you know what, maybe it's not meant for me. You know what I mean? They make peace with it and they move on and they concentrate on other things, and all of a sudden it presents itself, and you're just like, huh? Like, where the heck did this come from? I wasn't even looking for it. You know what I mean? It's tempting to go on dating apps. It's tempting to sit there and put yourself out there, but it's like a lot of the times, and you hear it from a lot of people, you go on there and it's a nightmare. They're just like, married men that are bored with their marriage. And it's like, instead of putting all your energy into the app, why don't you put it into your relationship? Just like the lover said, instead of putting your energy into something else, why don't you put it into your relationship? Have a dinner, have a movie night, talk. What is going on? Maybe you have mental health issues. Go to therapy. Stop blaming everyone else for your problems. The problem is you. So we go to the Nine of Cups as our last card, and it's a rebirth. I love this card. I feel like, bliss, harmony. It's like we don't know what the future, looks like, but it's just like, this future can involve this person. They're talking about building these pillars. You look at the sun card, the four doves. It's like the four pillars. Maybe you need another pillar here. They're showing the emperor, so maybe you need that fiery energy to come in. You know what I mean? At last, the card of wishes come true. When the Nine of Cups appears, worries and fears will be cast away. A new phase of peace and harmony awaits. The world seems to be gathering your every wish. So, we were talking about this in the new moon forecast and projections for November 23rd. The star card was the channeled card that they were showing. And it's always fixated on like the Star of David or you know what I mean? It's just like, I feel like it's building your own happiness. For myself, it's like, I'm not sure, with myself, I was like, I'm not sure if I'm going to, stick with the Hebrew faith. When I first started it, I was like, I was interested. I was drawn to it. The one thing that I was reading that really clicked for me was like, don't walk as other people walk as Jesus walked. And I'm like, well, Jesus was a Hebrew, so why am I reading a Catholic or Christian or a Quran or, you know what I mean? Like, he was a Hebrew, that was his belief system. So, I should definitely read the Torah, and I bought it in 2016 and I started reading it that fall, and it's just like reading it. And I've said this, any faith-based book that you read is just guidance. It's not an outright law, because if you see it's written by a human, it doesn't say author by God. Author is Jesus. It is what they interpret as what the truth should be. We can play broken telephone right now. I could tell someone something, they say it to you, they say it to this one. It comes back to me, it's nowhere close to what I said. You know what I mean? It's what you make it. So with myself, it was just like, we're into the faith for, this will be, I think, our 4th or 5th Hanukkah. I think it's our 4th. And it's just like sitting there and investing, putting the Hanukkah decorations up, buying, like, for me, it was like buying a menorah. You know what I mean? I did my research where, I'm very grateful where these women have sat there, and men, but just the ones that really stood out to me is where she talked about how, coming of faith. And she's like, don't worry about the high holidays. I'm like, what the heck is a high holiday? Now I know what it is, but I was just like, what the heck is that? She's like, get Shabbat down. So I did my research. I watched her videos, and I'm like, okay, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and now it's transformed into this beautiful thing. You know what I mean? Where it's just like just listening to the prayers, and it's sung in a song, and it's just so magical and uplifting. It's like you could have the crappiest week ever, and you listen to that, and there's just something that hits you. It just speaks to you, and you're just like, damn, I was meant to hear that. That was meant for us, So that's why I always turn to tribal trails like that. Like, I hate it when it turns political. It's like, the church is not a place of political. That is supposed to be a refuge. That's supposed to be a sanctuary. Mass for shut-ins is turning too political for me. So it's just like, I don't know if I'm going to continue watching it. I am for now. If it keeps being that way, then I'm just going to have to take a break from it, because that's not what I want to be a part of. But it's just like, I sitting there and investing in those, Hanukkah and Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. We want to get stuff for Passover. You know what I mean? So it's just like investing in those pieces where it really brings in that light and that celebration into life, So it's like, if there's outside entities that are bringing certain things to your life, this is where we talk about the home being our sanctuary and making it what we want, making it a wonderland of what we enjoy. So at last the card of wishes come true. The Nine of Cups appears. Worries and fears can be cast away. A new phase of peace and harmony awaits. The world seems to be gathering your wishes. Good wealth, happiness, and every material gain are heading your way. Enjoy. And I feel like it's like that hope, that if you're going through something, this too shall pass. It will not last forever. You will see the other side of things. You will heal from this situation. It'll be so far in the rear view mirror. You're grateful for it, but you're also grateful for the fact that you've overcome it. When we're in the eye of the storm and we can't see our way forward, it's hard to move forward. It's like, find your allies. It'll show you who's in your life. And it's like, you got to take inventory then. You got to listen and be like, hey, you know what? These are toxic people I don't want in my life no more. I don't want no part of it no more. I need to move forward. I can't keep this in my life. It's making me feel a certain way. If something is always constantly making you feel a negative way, it's time to get rid of it. It's time to let it go. There's no point. You're poisoning yourself, So you just got to sit there and be like, you know what? Sometimes situations are situations and move forward. There's nothing more to be done there. You just got to sit there and accept what it is, what it has been, and what it will be. And just be like, hey, you know what? Move forward. There's nothing more I can do here. Just wipe your hands away from it and move forward. We only get one life here, This is awakening, Do what makes you happy. You're not hurting nobody else. Everybody's going to always talk, no matter good, bad, or the ugly. They're always going to talk. Forget whatever the people think. Do what makes you happy. So I hope you guys enjoyed these daily tarot cards for Wednesday, November 8th, 2022. May the universe bless you good. We'll see you for the next daily tarot card. Bye.